So it's like a sort of random selection of old stuff from the entire world, from Paleolithic onwards, isn't it?
I love a table loaded with stone tools.
This is the one that intrigues me, I suppose, the most of anything.
Yeah, I mean, you know...
I mean, that's a very special object to you, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. It's for me, I mean, this really marks the beginnings of my career. So when I see a stone tool like this, it just takes me right back to my early days as an archaeologist, and being fixated by our earliest beginnings, really. So, and I can see why people must think it's random, because, you know, to look at it compared to lots of things on this table, it's crude. It's crude. Don't you dare use that word.
No, I know you hate that word.
Yes, but I mean, you know, I do understand that aesthetically, compared to many of these pieces, it's the least impressive. Yeah. But for me,
but it's also the oldest.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, if we want to get serious about this, so, you know, what are we looking at here?
3,500, 5,500 years ago.
Let's say 5,000 to be round. So 5,000. 2 million. I mean, it's just mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you look at that, I mean, this is a good place to start, but you look at that, and yes, we've got a beautiful polished edge on this flint axe 5,000 years ago, but it's not a million miles away 2 million years ago. I mean, in terms of technology, I know, trust me, I've made these stone
tools.
They're both stone tools, but actually the thinking behind them is exactly the same. Yeah. It's the most efficient use of that material for the time given and the human making it, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you know, this one it just has a very special place in my heart, simply because in that one stone tool, I think, you just see the origin of what we now are.
Yeah.
And that's quite an amazing thing.
You know what I found fascinating about it? When you pick it up, there's that natural indentation there.
Yes.
Your thumb.
Yeah.
Sort of, it's just weird. Look, it's just because I showed this to people.
Yeah.
You let me take it to York.
Yes.
To actually talk to, when I was talking to a group of blind people about objects and things.
Yeah, interesting.
Everybody picks it up and they look, it's got a natural grip in it.
Yeah.
I know that's not deliberate,
no.
but you can almost get an emotional response from holding this.
Yeah.
I mean, virtually everybody that I showed it to, I was so pleased that you let me borrow it. I was terrified, to be quite honest. You know, I kept it in my room all the time. You know, but they had that reaction of wow, the age of it, the connection with our earliest hominid ancestors is just incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is exactly. We're going to snatch it from each other.
No, yeah.
But no, I mean, you know, so to get more incredible, because when I was doing my research in Southern Africa 25 years ago now, the earliest stone tools were coming from East Africa, and at that time they were dated to about 2.75 million years ago, so nearly 3 million years ago. And so, you know, this is by no means the beginning of the story of technology, visible technology, because of course what this doesn't represent is all of those organic things that simply don't survive. So you know, if you look at primate behavior, for example, we know that chimpanzees in the wild wrap leaves around their feet to walk across thorny ground.
Using sticks to
fish, eaten crushed leaves to use a sponge to get water out of hollows. So it doesn't represent any of that, which must go back many millions of years. But it represents a point around 2 million years where this dramatic thing is happening, and it's basically the ability of our ancestors to take a stone, to strike a flake from it. I'm not going to use it because you'll panic.
No!
But let's just pretend that was a hammerstone and we were striking flakes off here. And what this represents is a massive cognitive leap from only striking flakes off one surface to, and it literally takes 500,000 years for this cognitive leap to happen, to realizing that if you strike a flake, it creates a scar. And if you turn the tool over, you can strike the scar of the previous removal to remove another one. And it means that you can start to really shape.
But also what it's doing is it's showing that there is an imagination there doesn't just see the object, but sees what could be inside it, and that's extraordinary, isn't it?
Yes,
you're having to envisage what something can become by changing it.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose, you're then, I mean, this is what's always fascinated me about stone tool technology, is that you're seeing the human mind in action. And as you say, to be able to produce that, even in a tool of this sort of simple nature, is a bit like playing a game of chess mentally. So you're not just smashing flakes, because anyone that's ever tried to flint knap, if you just smash flakes, you very quickly end up with a cuboid where nothing else will come off.
Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've all done that. So to be able to even produce a tool like this actually shows clear cognition in understanding not the physics of fracture mechanics, but the angles that are required to strike a very hard stone. Basalt is very hard to knap.
Oh no.
And so you're seeing this incredible leap in cognition, but it really represents this moment where actually they're turning and really understanding symmetry, and as you say, extracting something. Yeah, please do. Yeah. The weight. I mean, everything about this gives me pleasure because the weight feels right.
I know. But it is one of those things that you sort of almost feel the hairs on the back of your neck standing on end, don't you, when you make that connection, if you try to make that connection with whoever or whatever made this.
And
simple but an incredible object.
Absolutely.